number 3 is a simple card design, but so pretty. And I am using our Moody Mauve. This measures 4 by 5 1/4. My crumb cake card base, as all the cards in this class are crumb cake, so 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, folded in half. And then I have a piece of fairy vanilla. This has been cut down to measure 3 by 5 1/8. We're going to start stamping on this 3 by 5 1/8 piece of fairy vanilla, and I'm going to use StazOn. And this is one of those images you can stamp it any direction and it's going to look so pretty. But I'm going to stamp it with this bigger image down at the bottom first. Whoops. I think I'm going to need to re-ink my ink pad. Do that again. Flip that over, stamp it again. %1,000% better. All right, let's put the mask on. Now when your mask is on, you're going to stamp these flowers twice more. And I'm going to turn them around a little bit. And I'm working kind of in a straight line, but I am turning the direction of my stamp image. Okay. And then one of the tricks that always works for me as well is if your masking paper is sticking to your cardstock, just bend your cardstock a little bit and it just kind of lifts up your mask. And then look at that. And of course it's darker in the center because that's when I just re-inked it, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, I'm just cleaning the StazOn using my StazOn cleaner and just wipe it off with a rag. For the first 2 cards, I showed you how you could use your ink pads for coloring. Now I'm going to show you how you can use the ink refills. So I have my Moody Mauve. I'm actually going to bring in my bigger block. Why not? And I think that needs a little cleaning, so let's do that first. The StazOn cleaner also works really well for cleaning your clear blocks. I just put a little bit on and then just look, it takes off all the goop. And then I like to spritz the Stampin' Mist to get off any extra residue. That's how I like to clean my blocks. There we go. All right, so we're going to put some Moody Mauve on, and you don't need much. And our wild wheat. Crumb cake. Oops, that was a lot. A little bit of the copper clay. Boho blue. And you want to keep them a little bit apart from each other so they don't all bleed in. Old olive and garden green. And if I need more ink, I can grab it as we go along. All right, squeezing out my water painter so I get a fair amount of water on my brush. And I'm going to start with my Moody Mauve. I'm actually squeezing, you can see I just squeezed a bunch of water in there as well. take off the excess, and then just go ahead and start coloring away. And I'm just gonna go in between where I kind of didn't get all my stamped lines. Of course, you don't have to color the same as I do. You can change the colors around. I'm going to let that dry and I'll come back and add more color to it in a bit. Now I'm going to take my, let's do a little bit of the blue. Why not? Let's have some blue flowers in there. Work your ink in, tap it off. Back in with my Moody Mauve. And actually, I want to do these buds. And then just add any intensity of color that you want to add to your picture. So I'm just kind of going around the edge, pull it down. Brush off. I'm going to go in with my blue and do these buds right in here. And now I'm going to squeeze my water into the wild wheat. And do the remaining flowers. Aren't these colors gorgeous together? Just think they are so pretty. When I first saw these new in colors, I'll be honest, I was like, I don't think I like those. And honest to goodness, these have turned out to be my all-time very favorite in colors ever. I think they really speak to the 70s girl in me. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. All right, so I'm going to turn that around a bit, make sure I've gotten all my petals. I think the rest is greenery. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with my old olive and then move on to my garden green. going to go into my crumb cake, and then I'll go my early espresso and start coloring in the centers of the flowers. Copper clay. Sorry, I said early espresso. Copper clay. Just gonna add a little bit of that. Just kind of flattening my brush a little bit and just tapping on the edge of my brush. Going around the edge. Okay, so we are going to set that aside to dry, and then we're going to bring this piece in, and we're going to just tear a little bit off the edge, just like we did earlier on the other card, and just tear it towards you. And then this is going to get glued right on top. Look how pretty that is against that cardstock. Now, bring in the tearing tape, and you're going to put it right along the bottom. And wrap the ends around the back and just put your ribbon on. So make sure that's on there really, really well. I'm gonna lift that off and put on our ribbon. And for this card, we're using the copper clay. So just put that right on top. Wrap it around. And I'm going to bring this back in because I'm going to do some splattering. And I'm going to do the splattering with the crumb cake. So I'm going to squeeze out some water, pick just a little bit up, and splatter. Now for this card, I'm going to use a huge thank you from Encircled in Nature. I'm going to stamp that with black memento because it's a photopolymer stamp. So I'll bring in my mat, and you can position this wherever you like. I'm going to stamp it right here. So now I'm going to glue this to my card base. Bring my ribbon in and tie a knot. I had meant to use my knot trick, my knot ribbon trick, and I forgot. So that's fine. We'll just do it the old traditional way of making a knot. Trim it up. Right, let's get a glue dot on this knot. I'm going to position that right there. And I'm going to take a couple more dots just to hold those tails down. My paper on the inside, and the finished card.